MCU star recalls nearly being cast as Captain Kirk in J.J. Abrams' Star Trek movie. Sebastian Stan recently revealed that he came close to landing the role of Captain James T. Kirk in director J.J. Abrams' 2009 Star Trek reboot. The casting process for Kirk was under a considerable amount of scrutiny at the time, considering how iconic William Shatner's portrayal of Kirk was. The coveted role would eventually go to Chris Pine, which catapulted the actor into stardom. Stan would find massive success 2 years later with his role as Bucky Barnes in Captain America: The First Avenger during an appearance on Happy Sad Confused podcast with Josh Horowitz to promote his 2 new films, the Donald Trump biopic, The Apprentice, and the black comedy/thriller, A Different Man. Stan was asked if he missed out on any big roles that could have changed everything. Stan responds that he was close to getting Kirk, going as far as shooting a screen test for Paramount Pictures. The Thunderbolts director went on to say that he even shot photos recreating famous Shatner poses in hopes that it would help land him the role. Here's what he had to say about it: what Pine's casting in Star Trek meant to both actors' careers. Both Stan and Pine started their careers in the early 2000s, and both got their big break around the same time. Before becoming a household name, Stan appeared in small roles in films such as The Education of Charlie Banks and Spread. He landed a role opposite Ian McShane in the short-lived series Kings, which would lead to a run on the series Gossip Girl, as well as parts in the films Hot Tub Time Machine and Black Swan. In 2011, he made his mark on the MCU as Bucky Barnes, which put the actor on the map. Prior to Star Trek, Pine had only been in the entertainment business for 6 years. He had a few small roles in television shows such as Our 6 Feet Under and CSI Miami, but in 2004, he landed the part of Nicholas Devereaux in The Princess Diaries 2: Royal Engagement, which put Hollywood on notice. He followed that up with roles in films like Smokin' Aces and Bottle Shock, before landing the starring role in Star Trek. Our take on Stan losing the role of Kirk to Pine: as previously stated, there were a lot of eyes on the casting of Captain James Kirk in Abrams' Star Trek. Shatner is a tough act to follow. That said, Pine did an admirable job of capturing Kirk's swagger without doing an impression of Shatner. Stan has proven time after time that he is a fantastic actor, but he doesn't quite possess the qualities necessary to pull off a Kirk. Plus, had he been cast as Kirk, it's very possible that we would not have seen him appear in the Marvel Cinematic Universe. It's always fascinating to look behind the curtain of Hollywood casting. The process of selecting an actor for a major role can dramatically shape a film's legacy, with the casting decision often becoming as iconic as the character itself. Occasionally, an actor who becomes synonymous with one blockbuster franchise was very nearly the face of another. Such is the case with a major Marvel Cinematic Universe (MCU) star who recently revealed that they came close to being cast as Captain James T. Kirk in J.J. Abrams' 2009 Star Trek reboot. In a recent interview, this actor shared the story of how they auditioned for the role that would ultimately go to Chris Pine. Though now firmly entrenched in the MCU as one of its most recognizable heroes, this actor's brief brush with the Star Trek universe could have changed the trajectory of both their career and the sci-fi franchise itself. Let's take a closer look at how the MCU star almost donned the Starfleet uniform, and how different both the MCU and Star Trek might have been had that casting decision gone another way. The Marvel star's journey to the audition: the actor in question is no stranger to high-profile roles or intergalactic adventures, but their foray into the world of Star Trek predates their involvement with the MCU. Before becoming one of Marvel's A-listers, they were navigating their way through a competitive Hollywood landscape, auditioning for a wide range of roles. In the mid-2000s, when J.J. Abrams was gearing up to reboot the Star Trek franchise, this actor was brought in for an audition. At the time, Abrams was looking for an actor to embody the spirit of Captain Kirk, originally played by William Shatner in the iconic 1960s series. Kirk is a character known for his charisma, leadership, and adventurous spirit qualities Abrams wanted to retain, while also giving the role a modern twist for a new generation of fans. The MCU star, whose name wasn't as widely recognized then as it is today, auditioned with the hope of landing the role that could have set their career on an entirely different course. The audition experience: according to the MCU star, the audition process was intense but exciting. The pressure to fill such a legendary role was palpable, and they knew that whoever landed the part would have enormous shoes to fill. In the interview, they recalled feeling a mixture of nerves and exhilaration during the process, especially knowing that they were up against some tough competition. Though they didn't go into specifics about the audition scene, the actor mentioned that they were given material that highlighted Kirk's cocky but endearing nature qualities that make the captain both a beloved and complex figure. The actor felt confident in their performance, but as with many casting decisions in Hollywood, the final outcome depended on a multitude of factors beyond just the audition. Chris Pine's casting and success ultimately, the role of Captain Kirk went to Chris Pine, who would go on to become the face of the Star Trek franchise for the next decade. Pine's portrayal of Kirk brought a fresh energy to the character while paying homage to the swagger and boldness that Shatner made famous. Pine's Kirk was charismatic, impulsive, and brimming with the kind of rebellious spirit that made him a perfect fit for Abrams' fast-paced, action-heavy reimagining of the Star Trek universe. The reboot was a critical and commercial success, with Pine's performance at the heart of its appeal. He reprised the role in 2 sequels, Star Trek Into Darkness, 2013, and Star Trek Beyond, 2016, further cementing his place in sci-fi history. What could have been? It's always interesting to speculate how things might have turned out differently if another actor had been cast in a pivotal role. In this case, the MCU star's take on Captain Kirk could have altered the tone and feel of the reboot. While Pine brought a certain brand of charm and physicality to the role, the MCU actor might have offered a different dynamic, potentially steering the character in a new direction. Moreover, had the MCU actor been cast as Kirk, it's possible they wouldn't have ended up in the MCU at all. The timing of their audition for Star Trek and their eventual casting in the MCU is close enough that taking one path might have meant foregoing the other. This what-if scenario becomes even more tantalizing when you consider how iconic the MCU star has become in their current role. Would the Star Trek reboot have seen the same success with a different Kirk? And how would the MCU have evolved without this actor in their now legendary superhero role? The MCU actor reflects on the experience despite not landing the role. The MCU star expressed no regrets in the interview. In fact, they look back on the experience fondly, noting that every audition and near miss is a part of the journey in Hollywood. They acknowledge that Pine was the right choice for the role and that everything worked out the way it was meant to. For the MCU actor, missing out on Star Trek opened the door to even greater opportunities. Not long after the audition, they were cast in a role that would become a defining part of their career, an MCU character beloved by millions of fans worldwide. Reflecting on the twists and turns of fate, the actor said that while it's fun to imagine what might have been, they're grateful for the path their career ultimately took. Closing thoughts: Hollywood is full of near misses and almost castings that could have dramatically altered the course of blockbuster franchises. In this case, an MCU star's close call with playing Captain Kirk in J.J. Abrams' Star Trek reboot offers a fascinating glimpse into what might have been. While Chris Pine's portrayal of Kirk has become iconic in its own right, it's intriguing to think about how a different actor might have approached the role. For the MCU star, though, everything worked out for the best. They went on to become a cornerstone of the Marvel Cinematic Universe, helping to shape one of the most successful film franchises in history. As the actor looks back on their near miss with Star Trek,